No worries. Thank you so much, Kimberly, for the introduction. I truly appreciate it. Hello, Doug. Welcome, and welcome, Sandra. It's good to have both of you, all of you here. Thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and give a presentation, and then we'll have time to kind of talk about it because I don't want to like take the entire time and just present. I would like to also have a conversation about your business and what this means for your business and all. Okay. All right. I'm going to share my screen. Here we go. Um, I've got some of the topics of today. What is the introduction, and what is the competitive analysis, and competitive analysis in target market, because you can't talk about it without talking about your target market. Understanding your competitors, why is competitive analysis important for micro businesses? We're going to also talk about SWOT analysis, because again, you can't talk about competitive analysis without discussing SWOT analysis. Where to find information about your competitors, sample competitive analysis, like a templates that I have out there, and then we'll together search for one for that will work for your type of business, and then shaping your competitive position in the marketplace. And so that's what, and we're going to talk about, like I mentioned, the resource. With a competitive analysis, you can identify your competitors, as the name says, evaluate their strategies, determine their strengths and weaknesses. You can use the SWOT analysis to help you define the competitive plan. And then, by the end of this meeting, what I hope that we're able to do is for you to understand how to conduct a competitive analysis for your micro business, and then leave with a helpful resource. What is a competitive analysis? Well, it is the process of identifying, again, the strengths and weaknesses of current and potential competitors within your market. With the analysis, the business can define opportunities and threats, and then turn around and develop strategies to better position your organization. What are some of the strategies that you need that will help you to better position your organization to win in your market, basically? So here we kind of have I need to move this because it's literally in my way. Here we go. I'm going to put it down here. What is competitive analysis in target market? Because sometimes, you have issues with, like I said, you can't really talk about it without talking about the other. Conducting a competitive analysis will be tough if you don't have a deep understanding of your target market. Your target market are specific groups of people that you've decided to sell your product or your service to. Doug, just really quickly, who are your target audience?
So my target audience would be sort of us all, but small business owners in general, but more specifically ones who are really looking to the future of marketing insofar as like where marketing is heading in the next like 5 years.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about your business.
So I'm very, very early on, but I do marketing strategy for businesses, and what I've really latched onto over the past few months is really focusing on doing marketing in a right and ethical way for businesses, consumers. So really looking at doing the customer right.
Okay, so we'll learn more about what you do and how to better, define your target audience, because it will help you as you conduct your, your competitive analysis to be able to learn more, like I said, about, who your competitors are, because you don't want to do what we call a Me Too business. You have someone saying, "Oh, I'm working with this set of, or I'm doing this type of thing for my for customers," and someone else goes, "Me too." You want to be able to stand out, to be unique, When you say you want to do right by your customers, what does that mean? When you say you want to, you're targeting someone, what does that mean? So you want to really clearly define who those people are, so that like my little picture on the bottom, you are flying instead of running, and you're flying above every other person. Finding out exactly what makes you unique, will help you as you go through this process. So the other thing is, to be able to understand if your business is, if a business is your competitor, you must start by doing some of the following, like, analyze all of the following, I should say. You need to analyze the range of products and services that they offer. Like I said, once you understand your business, what it is that you truly offer and what makes you stand out. And then the next thing is to go and, look at the competitive landscape and see how you can be able to understand these people. And then once you understand, analyze the products and services that they offer, you then try to understand if their products and services that they offer they're trying to offer it to the same type of people that you're going after. And then are they located in the same area that you are? Because that's also important. And are they charging the same thing? So this all this type of information helps give you an in-depth information, understanding of who your competitors are. Why is competitive analysis important for micro businesses? Because that's who we focus. So for here at being the principal, our goal here at at Maine is to be able to understand our audience, and who our audience is. The micro business is someone like you, Doug, who is like, I'm just starting. I want to be able to, reach other businesses. Very good. So, if we were to be able to do this, we would be doing the same thing, like understanding who else is out there doing something similar that we're doing, because we want to be able to stand out. So conducting a competitive analysis is important. Why? Because it will help you to understand how your customers, both your existing customers and your potential customers, feel about your competitors. Why is this important? Because you're like, if they're not feeling good about these competitors, then you have an end. You need to find out why they're not feeling good about them, and then offer them the things that they're lacking. And this has always been a thing. You're not snooping, or you're not trying to copy. You're actually, this is like a detective of some sort. You're being like, intelligent in making things happen. You will also get an idea of what, makes you stand out. I talked about that uniqueness, because that's important. People want to be able to, show what makes them stand out, that, so that, like I mentioned, you're not that Me Too business. You also understand what your customers need. That is important, because so that you can offer them exactly what they want. You can be able to message them properly and give them the right information, so that they will keep coming back, or at least telling other people about you. Then there is the SWOT analysis. It's a very simple framework. We know this, a lot of people use it, but it's like just making sure that it gives you exactly what you're looking for. SWOT analysis allows you to, it's the strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threat. What am I doing well? What am I lacking? What can I take advantage of, and how can I mitigate some of the, the risks that are out there, within the industry or around me? And I like the little, thing I have up there that talks about what, your strengths and your weaknesses, your strengths and your opportunities are helpful to the organization, and your weaknesses and your threats are harmful. But if you look at it, you understand that the ones that you have like control over is your strengths and your weaknesses, because that's internal. The ones from outside, your opportunities and threats are external, and that's where you kind of, how do I seize on this opportunity, and how can I mitigate this threat, so that it doesn't become one of the videos and research that I did recently talked about blood in the water. You don't want that to happen, where things are not going in the right way or in the right direction. What are some of the places you can find information about your competitors? some of them, including their websites, believe it or not. I don't know, sometimes people don't often go to that place, which is very weird, but their website is one of the places you can go to get information. They tell you what they're trying to do, and they tell you who they're serving. They tell you all the information that most information that you need. And then there's also databases, places that you can go within the database to find what you're looking for. And then sometimes a conversation with them, people like to talk about themselves. And so they tell you all these things that, you can, you can glean from having a conversation with them. Some of the databases, sometimes when you do research on Google, you can find information on Dun & Bradstreet. I don't know if you heard of, if you, have heard of them. Then there's like this, because I'm a professor, at a college, we use this system called IBIS World. It is one of my biggest, my favorite database that I can be able to get statistics and information on. So that you can get that information from them about your competitors from those places as well.
Dr. Iswani.
Yes.
Can you also use social media?
You can definitely use social media, yes. So you want to monitor them as well. That's a very good question. Thank you, Carmen. Thank you so much for that, Kimberly. You definitely can use social media to be able to find information because everyone is on social media. Everyone wants to be seen and heard, and they will share the information with their target audience there as well. So yes, even their newsletters, that's another thing. Thank you for bringing that. So sometimes when people want to learn more about their competitors, they actually sign up to their newsletters to see, to get that constant update, because you want to update your customers about what's going on. And so that's another way that you can be able to make that happen. Then how do you shape your competitive position within the marketplace? Well, once you have analyzed your competition, the next thing to do, some of the things to do is identify the key areas of the advantages and disadvantages. Like what is it that that you learn from doing this whole going through this process, and what are your advantages, what are your disadvantages, because you will learn something, or you should learn something about your own organization. And then review the major problems and opportunities facing your organization, which is another thing you need to learn. And finally, build on what you learned. What did you get out of it, and how can you build on that to be able to even make things a lot better? I'm going to stop and ask if you have any questions. Anyone have any questions? So far, so good?
So far, so good. Thank you.
You are so welcome. Okay. So here's a sample competitive analysis template. I recently had to conduct one with my students on something that a task that they gave to us. We're looking to, kind of reimagine a certain part of a department within the university. And so they said to us, go ahead and complete a competitive, well, actually they didn't say, they just said, go and reimagine that. And so one of the things we did a SWOT analysis, and then we did a competitive analysis with, like using this as a similar template, and just looking at the best of the best, of the other people doing something similar. And we looked at their website, how it looks like, their location, their environment. And it's like, okay, we want to build a world-class, this department. Well, these are the people that are doing something similar. Let's see what they're doing. And so there are lots of templates out there and resources that I would like for us to, at least you can see the sample here. So when I'm done, I would like for us to get online and review, for you to see which one you can download in order to help you put your own competitive analysis together. It is this simple, where you have your own company, because it's important that you put information about your own company, and then the competitor 1, 2, and 3, sometimes up to 4, but nothing more than 5, I would say. 5 competitors, and you're putting, information, as much information as you can find on them. Sometimes you find their revenue, sometimes you don't, depending on how big or how small the organization is, and what types of products do they serve, do they have or sell. What about their services? What would you consider their strengths? Earlier, we were talking about different places to get information. Another place to get information is like customer reviews. You're able to hear, what people are saying, what customers are saying about that particular business. How many people here do a quick review on Google before you go certain places? I do. I like to see what people are saying, like the stars that they got, and stuff, you can hear things, you can get things like, oh, you have this, but, oh, I wish you can improve this, or, oh my goodness, that's a terrible place, don't even go, type thing. So those type of things allows you to also glean information from your, your other customers. So here's like some of the resources, like I said, places that we can go online to get that information that we need. And here I have questions. It's a very short, to the point presentation, but I figured that we can have more time to ask questions, review, or even do, one on your own business, if that's what you want to do, to be able to talk about your business, or have any questions, discuss any questions that you may have about your particular business. So I'm going to stop sharing so that I can see all of your wonderful faces.
Thank you so much, Dr. Aswani. And now we're going to be opening it up for questions.
So when do you have something that maybe you're feeling like it's a really different tack than maybe your direct competitors would be taking? How do you figure out who's actually your competitor?
How do you figure out who is actually your competitor? So again, what is it that are they selling or doing something similar that you're trying to do? What is it that they have that also looks almost similar, like I said, to what you're trying to sell. So you mentioned that you work with, like, you offer, I think you write market strategies for people, right?
Yeah.
And so with that, as you kind of, I would go online, market strategies, or market, I don't know, something to the, whatever your title is, in the area, and see what comes up or who comes up. And then of course, as you go into different networking groups and all that stuff, you begin to learn about others doing the same thing. But this is when, as you grow and get to learn, like understand more about your business and the landscape, make sure that you have something unique. When people are starting the businesses, because I'm a professor of entrepreneurship, I always tell my students, what is it that is, makes you different? What is unique about you? Because that's the biggest thing you want to have. Something that makes you stand out, and then using that information, you can then, it will help you to, again, not be that Me Too company that I mentioned earlier. I hope that answered your question.
No, it definitely did, because I think it sort of reoriented to not what I'm seeing as differentiating, but what the audience would see as differentiating. So yeah, absolutely.
And of course, you talk about the audience, and one of the things, as you grow as well, you begin to learn, like maybe talk to your audience to find out what it is that they want. Whether it's a quick poll on Instagram, a quick poll on any of the social media, or put like a quick research and send it out to them. If you send out newsletters, if you could please click on this Survey Monkey, and what are some of the things that you need, or the reason I'm saying this is because of COVID. Other than that, there's nothing more than sitting in front of your target audience and like talking to them face to face. That to me is the best, getting out of the building. But we have to now use the squares that we have right here for now. Very good. Kimberly, did you have a question or comments?
I was going to say, as you get into your SWOT analysis too, you see your key differentiators kind of come out even more. Your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats kind of come out even more. And you see that being highlighted, especially in your industry as you build out. And identify your industry early on.
Yes.
So try not to make yourself too unique where you fit into that industry, but you have a unique identifier.
Very true. And I kind of went through the SWOT analysis quickly because that's something that everyone seemed to know or understand, except when someone said, can you, take your time and review that? And I'll be more than happy to if someone needs it. But that seems to be something that everyone, even if as well as you went to a business school, you went to, you did some kind of SWOT analysis somehow at some point throughout your, career, college career. But it is very, very important to understand what your strengths are and do research. Really take a deep understanding of what it is. Sometimes you may be missing it, and this is also where by looking at your competitors, you can see exactly what it is. You're like, oh, they identify that as strengths. Yeah, I definitely do have that. That is a strength of mine. And that I have it times 2 or times 3, like, my brand image, my customer service, my convenience, all those are strengths that you bring to the table. But of course, what your strengths are depends on what the type of business that you have, because then that's important to also differentiate. And then your weaknesses, well, you're still a brand new business, so lack of awareness, people don't know you yet, but it's good to know that that's a thing, that so that you can work towards it. Well, okay, now that I know that people don't know me yet, what are some of the things I need to do to create awareness so that people will get to know me? For some new businesses, capital, finance is a big thing also. Okay, now I identify that finance or capital is an issue. What are some of the things I need to do? Lack of, like, you're doing it alone, you need someone to help you. That's another thing. How do I solve this issue? So because it's a weakness and I can only do so much on my own. And then you move over to the opportunities, things that are coming from the outside, but that are, that you can eventually turn into strengths. And then the same thing with the threats.
How do you do more of those external, like, opportunities and threats? I didn't go through business school, so I've just started doing SWOT analysis and things like that. And one of the things I was sort of challenged by was doing those opportunities and threats to say, well, what's in scope of a SWOT, as opposed to this is just a thing that is happening outside of what I should be looking at.
Okay, if I understand your question correctly, what are your potential opportunities? And again, it is important to know that it's different for every business. So for example, your opportunity may be partnership with another organization that is doing maybe not similar stuff, but well, like, that is so that they can maybe a pipeline to bring in customers to you. So that'll be an opportunity. Expanding into another like market or into other segments, could be an opportunity. So you're looking at those things that will give you, it's external, it's coming from the outside, but it will give you an opportunity to grow. It will give you an opportunity to make more money. It will give you an opportunity to get brand awareness, or to give value to your brand, or any one of those things. So that's what you're looking at. How can I get an extra opportunity, something from the outside that will still contribute to the growth of my business. And then with the threats is, what is it that that is also coming from the outside that could doom the business, as for lack of a better word, that could make it all of a sudden, the business is here today and it's not here tomorrow, or it's like, very, very risky for the business. So could another competitor be there again that can do this better than I can, or is coming to take away the little customers that I've been able to put together, since I've been in business, and now you are coming from nowhere to take them because you have something extra that you're adding to them that I can offer. And that could be that whole thing about, your customer needs, your target audience or your customer needs something yesterday, and because it's only you cannot be able to deliver it, but they can. And so that's the threat, and they bring something different, and that convenience, or they bring that customer service, or they bring that what is that, the ability to do something really quickly that you can't bring to the table, and so that's a threat from them. And so sometimes it all depends, like I mentioned, depending on the business itself. But those are, like, when I talk about it in general, I say, when you live in a place that is hurricane prone, that's a weather threat, right? Depending on your business. And so that every sometime in the August-ish type, like this thing starts happening. Okay, what can I do to be able to mitigate this so that, around that time, there's not, it's not too much disruption into my business. I will need to close. I will need to do certain things, but what are some of the things I can do to be able to mitigate it? And I need to stop making assumptions, because I just need to. You're like, you said to me, oh, I didn't go through the business, because I was like, I would make no more assumptions.
No, the hurricane prone area really rung home for me, though, because I moved to Providence from New Orleans, and that was a really big thing that the agency that I worked at, we worked with our clients through doing emergency preparedness stuff as a marketing function to say, okay, what happens when, even if you're in, Montana or something, okay, there's, different things that can happen, a really intense blizzard or something,
Right.
So that definitely, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Awesome. Any other questions? All right, I will give it back to Kimberly.
Thank you so much, everyone, for all of your time today. As always, my name is Kimberly Madden, and I'm the Executive Director of the Microbusiness Association of New England, and we provide training, access to resources, and networking opportunities for microbusinesses throughout New England. You can find us on LinkedIn through the groups at Microbusiness Association of New England. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to me directly at kimberly@mainonline.co, and I can put that in the chat before we go. Let me just throw that in there right now.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. And thank you again, Dr. Aswani, and thank you, Doug, for joining us today. And thank you, Sandra, as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
You're
Cheryl.
welcome.